So have you ever had a prayer partner? Well, several years ago, I met a lady at church and she suggested that we become prayer partners. So I said, that's great. I love the topic of prayer and I love prayer. And so we would meet together once a week. Well, eventually she brought up the topic of fasting and prayer. I'd never done any fasting and prayer before, but I thought, you know what, that sounds interesting. And so we started fasting and praying together once a week. You know, I usually came up with my topics by knowing which person or people I wanted to fast and pray for, or a certain maybe event, or something for myself that seemed important at the moment, something I wanted God to change in my life as well. One week, I had no ideas, absolutely none. Actually, sometimes I would get my ideas and I knew God was prompting me because all week the same thing would keep showing up in my morning devotional time. And it would seem like every day He would be hitting a topic. So I knew that that was the topic that He wanted me to fast and pray for that week. It was Friday morning, it was morning devotional time, and I said, all right, God, what would you like me to fast and pray for this week? And the tiniest little voice in my head said, peace. And I dismissed it immediately because, one, it sounded puny. Overall, it just sounded puny. And when we fast and pray, at least for myself, I want something big and powerful because that's what we think fasting and prayer does, right? The outcome of that is something powerful. And so I was like, no, I clearly misheard that. And so I tried to think of some of my stuff on my own, and nothing was fitting. And so finally I asked God again. I was like, all right, we're kind of running out of time here. Got us get started on the day. What do you want me to fast and pray for today? Once again, that exact same little teeny tiny voice said, peace. Finally, I just said, well, all right, God. I said, why on earth would you want me to fast and pray for peace? That's when these thoughts that clearly came from God, because I was not brilliant enough to think of it on my own, said, you know what, I want you to pray for peace because peace will give you strength, and strength will give you victory, and victory will give you joy, and joy and peace walk hand in hand together. And so I looked at it and I called it the circle of peace, because peace leads to strength, which gives us victory, which gives us joy. And that just completed the whole circle, because joy and peace then go through life walking hand in hand in our personal lives. I knew then clearly that peace had far more strength than anything that I could think of to pray for. And I think that's exactly what Jesus was talking about when He said, my peace I leave with you, not as the peace of the world. Because see, there's a difference between the peace that God gives us and the peace that we're seeking in the world under our own power. His peace is what brings that absolute strength into our lives. That strength that has no fear. So the peace of this world is driven by fear because we're constantly in fear of losing it. But the power of the peace that God gives us is full of His strength, and then His victory, and then His joy, which is the peace that passes all understanding. So that's the power of God's peace. It's full of His strength. It's full of His victory, and it's absolutely overflowing with His joy. And that is the peace that passes all understanding.